Good morning and welcome to Football League World TV. My name is Ned Holmes, and alongside my Football League World colleague Billy Mully, today I'm going to be running you through the nominees for the Football League World Fans League One Player of the Month award for April. How are you doing this morning, Billy?
Yeah, doing well, thank you. I think we just said off air that I need to try and avoid some recency bias with some games coming up in the going ahead in the playoffs. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reflecting on what was a really big month in terms of all sort of respective ambitions. You're looking at the top two race, the top six race, and even the relegation zone. It was a massive month. So yeah, some good names and some exciting players to go through here.
Absolutely. As you say, a lot of huge developments in terms of League Two and particularly the playoffs this month, of course. But we're going to turn our heads back to April, obviously the final month of the League One regular season. It provided a fittingly dramatic conclusion, as you say, Billy, with sort of battles going on at the top and the bottom. 6 of the standout players, as with every month, have been nominated for the Football League World Fans League One Player of the Month award. The vote is now open and you've got until 9 a.m. tomorrow to cast your vote. To vote, you can click the link in the description below if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, or head to footballleagueworld.co.uk/fan-awards. The link will be in that sort of clicker that's going along the bottom of the screen throughout. And before me and Billy get going, just a reminder, as always, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe on YouTube, and please do share us here. It really does help us grow. Well, Billy, before we get into sort of a one-by-one breakdown of the nominees, I'm going to go through all 6. It's Bolton goalkeeper James Trafford, Wycombe defender Ryan Tafazoli, MK Dons attacker Scott Twine, Sunderland forward Nathan Broadhead, Sheffield Wednesday striker Lee Gregory, and Wigan marksman Will Keane. We'll start with James Trafford, Billy. 25 saves and 1 assist for him as Bolton finished really the season with a flourish. And for him, a fantastic way to cap off an impressive loan spell at the club, wasn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And what you mentioned there, an assist, always exciting to see a goalkeeper get an assist. And as you say there, 25 saves. He's certainly been a very busy man. I know that hasn't equated to many, if any, clean sheets, but he has shown sort of a great maturity progressing through this season. He's just improved, and he's become a keeper that, you know, has been a reliable pair of hands for Bolton this season. Still just 19 years of age. You think he has a very exciting future ahead of him. And as we say there, Bolton didn't really have too much to play for, probably opening up games for being a little bit more exciting, a little bit more not as shut up shop as we've come to expect this season with League One and with Bolton. So yeah, to get clean sheets in this sort of concluding stage of the season is quite difficult. But yeah, he's definitely shown ability and abundance this season, and it'll be very interesting to see what the next move might be. Whether the next step could be Championship football, I'm not too sure yet. Whether a loan move back to Bolton could come to fruition as well, I think that's definitely an option. So yeah, as we say, definitely some options, and definitely one for the future, and a player that has definitely shown his worth in League One, and particularly in the month of April.
Absolutely, and you do think if there is another loan move on the way, which you suspect there is, then certainly impressing in April is the way to get you the highest move possible. And as we say, Bolton goalkeeper James Trafford has done just that: 25 saves, 1 assist in a month when he was certainly, as you say, Billy, kept very busy. And if you think he deserves to be named the Football League World League One Player of the Month for April, then click the link in the description below, or head to footballleagueworld.co.uk/fan-awards to cast your vote. Well, Billy, at the top of the show, we talked about trying not to let recency bias sort of influence us. So we're not going to talk about Ryan Tafazoli's impressive performances in the League One playoffs so far. But, I mean, 41 clearances, 34 aerial duels won for Tafazoli, as the Chairboys conceded just 4 goals in 7 games. And I think finished with the best record in League One in April as they snuck into the playoffs. He's so important to what they do, and he was so important to securing the playoffs for them, wasn't he?
100%, and we sort of think to prior to before the month started, and Wycombe were in a bit of a difficult situation. It looked like perhaps they may not get a playoff spot, and they had the likes of Plymouth and Oxford looking a little bit more likely to secure that sixth spot. And as it's played out, Wycombe were in impeccable form, and I think that primarily goes down to defensive resilience, which they've shown all season. But I think they've shown it particularly in that last month, and I think that was sort of laying down the foundations for them going forward to eventually securing a spot. And Tafasoli has been integral to that, as you say. 41 clearances and 34 aerial duels that he's won in the month of April. Some very, very good numbers, as we've said before. A centre back that tends to dominate his aerial battles, but I think we've also seen that he's good with his feet. As we say, I think we want to try and avoid talking about anything in May and in these playoffs. I won't say too much about some of the crossfield passes that he's done in recent weeks. But yeah, he definitely is a player that has been massive for Wycombe this season, a big part as to why they have been so successful throughout the season. And again, a big part as to why they've been successful in the month of April. And going forward, should they secure championship football for next season, he's likely to be a big part of that too.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you say, without wanting to look too far into May, they really wouldn't be where they are now had he not sort of provided some of those dominating performances at the back. So that's Ryan Tafazoli of Wycombe. And if you think he deserves to be named the Football League World Fans League One Player of the Month for April, you've got until 9 a.m. tomorrow to cast your vote. Scott Twine, always a difficult person to place in terms of positional categories. We've got him as a midfielder, and he's capped off a sensational season, Billy, with a fantastic month. 6 goals, 3 assists, of course. 4 of those goals and 1 of the assists coming in that 5-0 hammering of Plymouth on the final day. Obviously, no promotion for MK Dons, but a very memorable season for Scott Twine, and an April that really summed up what he's all about.
Yeah, 100%. I think you summed it up perfectly at the start, where you said we don't really know what to define his best position as, because we naturally had him as an attacking midfielder at the start of the season. He's played on the wing more recently because of the absence of Mo Issa. He played up top, and every time he sets foot on that pitch, he pretty much is the top performer, and he's just had an incredible season. Again, what we said about previous players, that having an impressive month in April can sometimes bode very well for whatever the next step of his career might be. But what struck me about him, and considering he's got 33 goal contributions this season, and watching him in April, it's his unselfishness, which seems very crazy to say considering the amount of goal contributions he's had. But those sort of unselfish runs he makes, those decisions where he looks to play teammates in rather than have shots, he's just a very, very intelligent footballer around the edge of the box. And as we've seen in the month of May, 4 goals against Plymouth, and not many people score 4 goals against a keeper like Mike Cooper. Obviously had an exceptional season by his standards, and you just look at Scott Twine and think the next move has to be Championship or beyond, because he's such a brilliant player. Again, looking in the month of April, the goals he scores from outside the box, sort of the intuition he shows, the sort of the clever, intelligent runs he makes, everything about Scott Twine's pointing towards a future star. And I think you can say that about a fair few MK Dons players this season. Really, really impressive campaign for the large part for most of their players. But I think Twine pips it in terms of the whole season, and certainly in the month of April, it was a really, really spectacular month for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you say, his talent would suggest that this is probably the last we'll see of him in League One. But if it is the last, then what a month to go out on for Scott Twine. 6 goals, 3 assists. And if you think he deserves to win this award, then head to footballleagueworld.co.uk/fan-awards, or click the link in the description below to cast your vote. Now, as with the Championship nominees list yesterday, a lot of very impressive striking performances in April. And we start with Sunderland's Nathan Broadhead, Billy. 5 goals from 13 shots for him. I mean that's not as many as some of the people we're going to come on to later in this list, but it's all about impact with Broadhead, isn't it? I mean, he returned from injury in the first, I think Sunderland's first game in April, and he ended up scoring 5 goals that would mean that they made it to the playoffs, and now latterly the playoff final. In terms of impact, few players in League One had more in April, did they?
That's it. You speak about impact, and it's exactly what Nathan Broadhead's done. Another really intelligent forward, someone who's quite direct, somebody who's shown in abundance that he knows where the goal is. I think it's 10 goals in just 1,200 minutes in League One this season. I think that's something that we've seen in April, adding another 5 to his collection in limited minutes. It's really been a positive impact, and at the crunch end of the season as well, where they've had some tough games coming up. Of course, in April, their playoff status was in the balance. Didn't know whether Sunderland would be confirmed in the playoffs, but some of the goals that he scored and the importance of some of these goals has been something that's been really, really good to see in what has been an injury hit season. And I think it's probably best summed up by the Sunderland Football League World fan pundit who had him down as signing of the season, and that just shows sort of the incredible mark he's made in just 1,200 minutes of League One football this season. So yeah, it's been a really, really productive stint for Broadhead when he has been on the pitch. Of course, he hasn't played as much football as he would have liked, but it's given a great insight to what we can come to expect of Broadhead in the future, because as we see here, his future does look very, very bright. And it's not just the goals he brings as well, it's the runs off the ball he makes. He's, as I said before, he's a real direct runner, full of energy, real good technical ability as well, often looked a level above. So there are lots of reasons to be excited about Nathan Broadhead, and should they keep him fit for the playoffs, he could be a massive weapon for Sunderland against a Wycombe side who we know are very defensively resilient.
Yeah, absolutely, and similar to, as we say, I think with Ryan Tafazoli, if Sunderland are to go up, then I'm sure we'll look back at the goals that Nathan Broadhead scored rather than the ones that Tafazoli kept out as having a huge influence in that. And if you think he deserves this award this month, you've got until 9 a.m. tomorrow to cast your vote. Well, he came out on the losing side last night, Billy, but if we're talking about April, then few players were more impressive really than Lee Gregory. Bagged another one last night, but in April it was 7 goals for him, 27 aerial duels won, sort of proving that he does offer a lot in the all-round game, but in the business end of the season, hard to look past those goals and the results that they kept earning from Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, again, another one whereby we're going to have to avoid this recency bias, because he did play well yesterday. He did score the goal. His all-round play, all-round striking play is something that's you probably say unmatched in this division. What he does bring is just such a range of desirable attributes, which keeping him in League One next season, whilst the pain of missing out on the trip to Wembley, it's going to be damaging for Sheffield Wednesday fans, but they're likely to have Lee Gregory the top end of the pitch next season. And if April is anything to go by, then that's going to be a massive boost for them. As I said before, a natural goal scorer, a player that holds the ball up. As mentioned with the stats there, 27 aerials won as well, which again shows that there's lots of bows to what he can do. And he's someone that's very, very intelligent. The experience he's got, the link-up play with Marvin Johnson as well. He always knows where he's going to play the ball. And yeah, I think that's going to be the exciting part for Sheffield Wednesday fans next season. The potential of having Lee Gregory next to Josh Windass for an extended period of time, should that come to fruition, should be a massive boost for Sheffield Wednesday. And as I said, it's ultimately heartbreak now, but having a player who's as good as Gregory in the side will certainly be a big boost. And again, he's a similar to what we said about Nathan Broadhead. It's not just the goals he scored again in April. It was the fact that Sheffield Wednesday needed to ensure that they were scoring the goals and ensuring that they were winning games to make sure that they were in the playoffs. So yeah, Gregory has proven throughout this campaign that he's an important scorer of goals, and he's a scorer of important goals as well, which a very, very good month in April for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's 7 goals, 27 aerials, 1 for Lee Gregory. And if you think he deserves to be named the Football League World Fans League One Player of the Month for April, then click the link in the description below, or head to that link that's just coming across your screen now. Well, the 6th and final name on the shortlist for April has already actually got his hands on a few bits of silverware, a few medals already for Will Keane. 7 goals and 2 assists, helped not just Wigan win the title, but Will Keane scoop the Golden Boot Award in League One. Quite the month for him, Billy.
Yeah, very, very good month. And it seems a little bit strange to say, but I still feel like his overall season has gone a little bit under the radar. I think he's been in incredible form throughout the campaign, and sort of walking into a situation where I didn't expect him to be as much of a talisman as he has been this season. Obviously playing up front for the large part of the campaign, and proven to be an important scorer of goals. I think it's the 3rd time I'm going to say it about a player now, but he scored goals at the right end of the season to help fire Wigan to automatic promotion. Again, it's difficult anyways to score goals, but to score goals at a crunch end of a season where you've got your respective ambitions on the line, it's a difficult thing to do. And 7 goals in 1 month is always an incredible achievement, but when it helps you go to win a league title, it's that little bit better. But yeah, as we've come to learn from Will Keane in the past, he's more than just a scorer of goals. He's somebody that likes to drop deep. His movement's incredible. Very, very elusive player, difficult to mark, and that helps him pick up some really good positions in between opposing defences and the midfield to become sort of this creative type of forward as well. And we've seen that with 2 assists this month. I think it was 8 for the season as well. So he definitely has all these different capabilities that I think will bode well for him stepping up to Championship football again, because we've seen in previous years it's a big gap now from League One to Championship, but I think his kind of performances, his ability to be a level above for the majority of the campaign, I think is going to bode well for Wigan now going into the Championship. So yeah, another incredible month for Will Keane, and perhaps a season that's gone a little bit under the radar, which again seems very, very strange to say, considering he's won the Golden Boot, he's won the Player of the Season award at Wigan. But yeah, I don't think his brilliance has quite been, his praises haven't quite been sung enough.
Yeah, absolutely. A hugely impressive campaign. And I think for Wigan fans as well, if they wanted anything to sort of boost their confidence that he could cut it in the Championship, then 7 goals and 2 assists in April is certainly going to go some way to convincing them that. Just then to run through those 6 nominees again, that's Bolton goalkeeper James Trafford, Wycombe defender Ryan Tafazoli, MK Dons attacker Scott Twine, Sunderland forward Nathan Broadhead, Sheffield Wednesday striker Lee Gregory, and Wigan marksman Will Keane. As I've said a few times now, you've got until 9 a.m. tomorrow to cast your vote. You can click the link in the description below, or head to footballleagueworld.co.uk/fan-awards to cast your vote. Well, that is everything from us on Football League World TV today. So that just leaves me to say thanks, Billy, and thanks everyone for watching.